Well, hey guys, I don't know if you guys have been following weather lately, but that heat wave that hit the Southwest, it was here, and now we got monsoon, moisture and humidity that we're dealing with. So I did a couple live feeds. If you guys followed the live feeds, you know it's been hot, and I've been doing a lot of sharpening for the boys over at Fair and Forge. But the thing is, it's hit or miss. Some people really, really like the live feeds. Some people like these. So what we're going to do now is this is an actual video. And yes, I know I promised a video of when Pip was here, but there's a lot of editing that has to go into that because that video is not at all like this. It's just snippets of things that we did. It was all just, it was a lot of drinking and just little humorous things that happened. So I'm still trying to get that all edited the way I want it. So what we're here to talk about is, as you've seen from the title, because you know what it is, my customer Peter sent me, and I carried this a couple days. I don't. It's a really nice knife, and I would hate to screw it up, so I didn't carry it too much. Peter sent me a Rockstead Shin. Now I've had other Rocksteads come in, but this is a full DLC polished, man does it fingerprint, Shin, this is like the holy grail of Shin knives for me. Now this, Elliot and I both agree. I understand why they cost as much as they do. I mean, you can't argue the quality that they put into it, the engineering that goes into them, and things like that. These knives are freaking amazing. I put water in the pot to heat up for tea. I have a thing that holds hot water. That's that music you're hearing. So, before we turn around and look at this, we're gonna, because it is gorgeous. It's a thing to behold. I need to wipe it down before we turn the camera around and take a close look at it. The things that I would like to talk about on this are, one, the build quality. It's very light for this size knife. In comparison, it's a lot. If you look size, thickness-wise, hand size, it's a good bit thicker than what's currently in my pocket, which is gonna be another video because this is now mine. It's a good bit thicker than my Fair and Forge Mako here. Substantially large, but it's made out of duraluminum, which is an aluminum alloy that apparently wears really well. They did a really good job. It's got a ray skin inlay. Now, from what I understand, it's actual ray skin. Japanese guys, they love the ray skin. But the things I want to talk about before we get into the aesthetics, it's really a comfortable, pardon me, it's really a comfortable weight for the size knife it is. It really is. And the action on it is buttery smooth. Now, these don't ride on bearings. These ride on washers. And I have to say, everybody sucks Chris Reeves' knives dicks about how smooth they are. And I'm not gonna lie, they do have that hydraulic smooth action that it's the same amount of pressure the entire way through. The action on this is so much easier opening than any Chris Reeve I've ever handled or owned. The action on it's amazing. It's super, super smooth. Lock bar tension is perfect on it. You can flip it open like that. That's my only, I wish the detent was a little tighter on it. That's my only thing. But as far as weight, it's perfect. Everything, there are zero hot spots on this knife. Now, Peter doesn't like pocket clip because pocket clips are always going to be the point of contention on any knife. He thinks it's aesthetically not as pleasing. He wanted a milled clip, and we talked about it. And for the amount of work that would go into it, there's just no way that a milled clip could be made for less than the price of a new knife. So, when we turn this around, we're going to look at all of the features that they've put into this that make this so incredibly comfortable to carry. And just how gorgeous this is. So let's get this turned around. We'll take a good close look at this knife. I really am not looking forward to having to send this back. He sent me a couple of knives we're gonna talk about in some other videos. I'm actually I'm heating some stuff up because I'm gonna eat. It's lunchtime. But I figured I would do this while I'm waiting. So, all right guys, hang on just a second. All right guys, had to clean myself off a little spot here for this. So, as you can see, with all the Rockstead knives I've ever seen, it's just downright gorgeous. There are no hot spots. The seams are almost flawless. You can barely see where the two pieces of aluminum are married together. There's the pivot is internal. There is no pivot on the outside. Thumb stud opening, and even I wiped it off. Hang on, let me wipe it off again. This is my contention with mirror polishes. Ooh, that is sharp. But you can see, mirror polish DLC. All the way down, and the only, just that one little line where you can see the raw edge. Now this is not in the steel that everybody usually assumes it's going to be in. We've got the birth certificate of it here. This one is in, instead of ZDP 180, or instead of ZDP, this is in YXR7, and it is at a Rockwell of 64.8. Blade shape is Hanzukuri. It would be how you pronounce Hanzukuri. Shows hard anodized coating on the scale material. It's black. Embellishments, it's got Stingray, and it talks about all of the other material that's in it, and it shows all the information that's on it. So, once again, let's look at this. They do an amazing job. That full convex, 0, all the way down. Now, these knives, you send them back to the company to actually be sharpened, but what you do is you strop them very, very, very cautiously at the very, very edge, which there's some corrosion. YXR is a high carbon steel, so high carbon tool steel. So there is a little corrosion spot here that I'm going to take care of for Peter. But I mean, you can see, look at the finish that is on that knife. It is, I mean, their knives are always amazing, and that's still just, that's just me. That's stuff that I've gotten on it. I'm trying to wipe it off clean. But that's the problem with mirror polish. But I mean, look at that. Look at that line. Completely flawless on both sides. And that trademark hole that's right there. But the other thing too, I mean, here, let's close this. The scales are also milled gorgeously. Now, the pocket clip, as far as what Peter was saying, he doesn't like the pocket clip. Pocket clips are always going to be a problem. My thing with a pocket clip is, when I have that knife in my hand, how does it feel? And the thing is that the pocket clip on this knife, let me get you up a little bit. When I get that knife in my hand like that, it disappears. I can't feel it. There's 0 hot spots on this knife, including the pocket clip. So to me, I like a bent spring clip like this. This thing is just about perfect. Let me, oops, bouncing around again. Let me drop this back down a little bit and we'll look at the pocket clip. For me, the pocket clip is executed really well. It looks like it's been black polished DLC, just like the blade. It's not a bad pocket clip. He seems to think that he says that it doesn't. It kind of aesthetically doesn't go with how gorgeous the rest of the knife is. I disagree. Pocket clips are always going to be a problem. You can have a gorgeous, gorgeous knife, and no matter what you do, people are going to dislike pocket clips. So, but as far as like execution and everything like this, I've never seen a Rockstead that was not done amazing. And there's just like, there is nothing. There's no sound, nothing on that. And they are really sharp. Always. Let's see. So, Rockstead Shin, guys. And their packaging. Let's look at this. Their packaging is amazing. Always amazing, too. It always comes with the case, all your birth information of the blade, everything comes in a wood case, and then inside a cardboard sleeve. That's how they come. That's how they come. And so people were like, I don't understand why they cost so much. I was like, you know what? Presentation, everything. You just can't argue why they charge as much as they do, because it's all there. It's the full real deal. So, now, for me, the downsides on these. Downsides, I'm not a fan of aluminum. Like, for as gorgeous and everything, like, would I carry this? Yeah, I'd carry this. Would I hard use this? I don't know. Yeah, I would. I would trash it. I guarantee I would wreck the DLC coating, and there would be very little coating left on the hard coat would be gone. I could wreck that anodizing on that aluminum real easy. But the thing is that this knife to me is not something, it's just it's a little over the top. The polish, I'm not a fan of polish. I am a fan of a good work usable finish. It's here. There's a lot of my knives that have this finish, which is, it's not an acid stone. This finish is a blast and tumble. Looks a lot like a acid wash, because you get that dark gray, but what it is you just blast the crap out of it and then you tumble it, and it hides scratches and things like that, and you can carry a knife like that and use it real heavily before you start seeing a change in the finish. The nice thing is it's an easy finish to duplicate. If I do ruin the finish on my knife, I can go back and just duplicate that. I can't do that on this. The other thing is, I'm not a fan of DLC. DLC is not got the same... I've become a fan of the ceramic coatings that I've started using, that the guys at Fair and Forge use. I've seen Cerakote on a bunch of stuff, and Cerakote's a lot thicker coating, and it causes a lot of friction and drag. The ceramic coating that I use, that I've become a fan of, it's really thin, it's pretty frictionless, and the nice thing is, unlike this fingerprints, and then you can almost see through it. DLC is not opaque, it's translucent. You can pretty much see through it if there's any grind lines or anything under it. The ceramic, actually, you can't see the underlying steel. So it's a blacker color, which, if I want my knife to have color, I want it to be black. You know what I mean? I don't want it to be something that when you get oil on it, you can see through it. Almost like an anodizing is what it almost looks like sometimes. Anodizing washes out with fingerprint oils and things like that. DLC will do that. I've seen several knives with DLC coatings that do that. Not at all saying that I do not like that knife. I would be weary to carry it very much. I mean, that would probably be something that would be in my pocket on like a Saturday if I was hanging out with my daughter, and not going anywhere, so I'm not cutting down boxes and things like that. But all in all, Rockstead knives are amazing. All aspects of what they do, they just, like I said, the presentation of a knife that you're sending to somebody in a case, as opposed to just a nondescript white cardboard box. I've had custom knives that came that way. Had a guy drop ship me a very expensive full custom knife that came in just a white cardboard box, no sticker, no nothing, just his name written on the end of it with a number, which was the serial number of the knife, shoved inside an envelope that was sent straight to me for sharpening. And I was like, wow, really? You're spending, $1,000 ballpark range on a knife. You can't, put a case with a sticker on it, something. So, I get it. It's hard to do. It's expensive to get, specific branded boxes and things like that. But, you can get it done. So, all right, guys, that is the Rockstead Shin. Like I said, it is a gorgeous knife, and it is I've done some cutting with it. I did some light cutting with it, and that blade shape, that blade design, it cuts really, really, really well. So I will be putting up more content. There's a good chance that this coming weekend, I will be going to Phoenix to visit with some friends. So don't expect content this coming weekend. And if you have knives that are coming to me, there may be a weekend that I'm just going to take and leave on a Friday morning and head to Phoenix. So just keep that in mind. All right, guys. Like I said, there's gonna be a couple more videos. I know that a lot of you guys like the actual knife videos, not just the live feed me sitting around stuff. So, yeah, that's about it. Check out my Patreon below if you really like the videos. If you just like the videos, give me a thumbs up. If you don't like the video, give me a thumbs down. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, put it in the comments. I got thick skin. I was in the military for a long time. All right, guys, take it easy. I've got work to do. I've got to eat my lunch, and I will see you guys next time.